Hi, I'm Myra. I never thought I'd be living with my son at 62, but life throws curveballs sometimes. After my retirement from teaching, I found myself with a decent pension, but not enough for the rising costs in our area. When Ben mentioned he and his new wife, Cassandra, were struggling with their mortgage, it seemed like the perfect solution for everyone. Mom, we've got that spare bedroom just sitting empty. You'd be helping us out big time with the payments, Ben said over coffee 3 months ago. Are you sure Cassandra wouldn't mind? New marriages need space. She's totally on board, said it was a brilliant idea. So I sold my small apartment and moved in with them. It's a beautiful house in a nice neighborhood, way more than they could afford on their own. I contribute almost 70% of the mortgage payment, plus I handle most of the household chores since Ben works long hours at the architectural firm, and Cassandra's supposedly busy with her marketing job. The first few weeks were fine. Cassandra was all smiles and gratitude. That changed gradually. Myra, would you mind reorganizing the pantry? Everything's just so cluttered. The way she said it, like I'd created the mess myself. The laundry needs to be folded the way I showed you, Myra. These creases look terrible. She'd pick apart everything I did. When I mentioned it to Ben, he just laughed. That's just Cassandra's way. She's particular about things. Don't take it personally, Mom. Last week, I met my old friend Daniel for lunch. We taught together for 20 years before retirement. You seem distracted, Myra. Everything okay with the new living arrangement? I don't know, Danny. Sometimes I feel like I'm just the help, not family. Red flags, Myra. I've seen this before with my brother's wife. You need to establish boundaries now. I nodded. But what boundaries could I set? I was contributing most of the money for their house. Tonight was the breaking point. Cassandra invited her work colleagues over for dinner. I spent all day cooking, her request for something impressive. And the table looked beautiful if I say so myself. As everyone was seated, Cassandra clinked her glass. Before we start, I want to thank Myra for preparing this lovely meal. We're so lucky to have our live-in maid. The table laughed, but I froze with the serving spoon midair. She's joking, Ben said quickly, noticing my expression. Mom's been a huge help since moving in. Of course I'm joking, Cassandra smiled, but her eyes were cold. Myra's family. She just happens to be amazing at keeping everything running smoothly while we focus on our careers. Her friend Rebecca looked between us. So lucky. My mother-in-law would never. Well, Myra's different. Aren't you, Myra? I just smiled tightly and served the food. But inside, something snapped. The maid comment wasn't a slip. It was a glimpse of how she truly saw me. And I was done being taken advantage of. After the dinner party, things got even worse. The next morning, Cassandra left a list of chores on the kitchen counter while I was making coffee. What's this? Just a few things that need doing today. The bathroom tiles need scrubbing, and could you pick up my dry cleaning? Oh, and I've invited the Johnsons for brunch Sunday, so plan something nice. She didn't even look up from her phone. I bit my tongue, remembering how much I was contributing to their mortgage. When Ben came down, I tried bringing it up. Honey, did you see this list Cassandra made for me? Oh, she's just being organized, Mom. You know how she is about the house looking perfect. Gotta run. Big presentation today. He was gone before I could respond. The same pattern every day. Out before 7, home after 9, barely noticing the tension building. Later that week, I had a strange encounter. I ran into Cassandra's coworker Tina at the grocery store. Myra, nice seeing you outside the office. How's retirement treating you? Outside the office? Yeah, when you dropped off lunch for Cassandra yesterday. She mentioned you do that sometimes. That was odd. Cassandra had told me she was swamped at work yesterday. Too busy even to answer texts. But I'd never brought her lunch. Ever. I called my daughter Rachel that evening. She's playing you, Mom. Classic manipulation. But why? I'm helping them financially. That's exactly why. You've got leverage she doesn't want you to realize. Start documenting everything. The money, the lies, all of it. Rachel was always the practical one. After our call, I started keeping detailed records of my contributions. the mortgage payments from my account, the groceries, utilities. Then I began paying more attention to Cassandra's schedule. On Tuesday, she claimed to be working late, but her location on our family tracking app showed her at a spa across town. Wednesday, she said she had a client dinner, but posted Instagram stories from a bar with friends. Each lie made my blood boil. I went through some mail that had piled up and found a statement from Cassandra's credit card company. I shouldn't have opened it, but something compelled me. What I saw stunned me. Thousands in clothing purchases, spa treatments, and restaurants in the past month alone. The minimum payment was more than what she claimed to contribute to our household expenses. I earned that promotion, Emma. I deserve to treat myself, Cassandra was saying on the phone in the backyard. I hadn't meant to eavesdrop, but the window was open. No, the mother-in-law situation is temporary. She's got a decent chunk of money saved, and once she's settled the divorce stuff, she'll get her own place. I'm just playing nice until then. Divorce? I'd been divorced for 12 years. My ex-husband Frank and I were on decent terms now. Between us? I'm giving it 3 more months, tops. Then I'll convince Ben we need our privacy back. The old lady needs to go before she gets too comfortable. Maybe we'll even convert her room into that home gym I've been wanting. I stood frozen, phone in hand, already recording every word. Oh, you have no idea who you're dealing with, Cassandra. The next morning, I waited until Ben was having his coffee before work to show him what I'd discovered. We need to talk about Cassandra. Mom, I'm already running late. 5 minutes, that's all I'm asking. I played the recording of Cassandra's conversation. His face fell as he listened, but then he straightened up. She was probably just venting to her friend. You know how people exaggerate. Exaggerate? She's planning to kick me out, after I've been paying most of your mortgage? Look, I'll talk to her, okay, but I'm sure there's an explanation. She's under a lot of pressure at work. That's another thing. I don't think she's at work half the time she claims to be. Mom, please, let me handle my marriage. She's just adjusting to having you here. He left without really listening, so I called the one person who might know more, my ex-husband, Frank. Myra, everything okay? You never call on weekdays? I need to ask you something about Cassandra. Has she approached you recently? Maybe about money? A long pause. How did you know? She came by my office last month saying she and Ben were having cash flow problems. Wanted to borrow 20 grand. I told her they should talk to you since you're living there. She never mentioned it to me. Did she say what it was for? Home renovations, supposedly. I didn't buy it. Her story had holes. After hanging up, I started searching the house. In Cassandra's home office desk, hidden beneath fashion magazines, I found 3 unopened letters from the mortgage company. I opened them, late payment notices. We were 2 months behind despite my regular contributions to Ben's account. I immediately called a lawyer friend, Patricia. They can't just take your money and not pay the mortgage, Myra. You've got rights, especially if you can prove your contributions. What about the fact that I'm not on the deed? Depends on what agreements were made. Bring me all your payment records and any texts or emails discussing the arrangement. Armed with legal advice, I texted both Ben and Cassandra. Family meeting tonight at 7. Non-negotiable. Cassandra called immediately. What's this about a meeting? Ben and I have plans. Cancel them. This is about the mortgage payments you've been missing. Silence then. I don't know what you're talking about. The notices in your desk tell a different story. You went through my things? That's invasion of privacy? We'll discuss it tonight. All day, Cassandra sent passive-aggressive texts. Hope you're happy destroying our family unity. And, Ben's stressed enough without your drama. When she got home, she slammed doors and muttered under her breath. I overheard her on the phone. She's trying to turn Ben against me. I think she's planning to kick me out of my own house. The irony wasn't lost on me. Around 6, her boss, Gregory, unexpectedly showed up. I was in the neighborhood and thought I'd drop off these contracts for Cassandra to review. Cassandra appeared, all smiles. Gregory, what a surprise. I hope I'm not interrupting. Not at all. Come in, let me introduce you. This is Myra, our live-in maid. My blood froze. She's been such a lifesaver since we bought this place. Handles everything while we focus on our careers. Gregory extended his hand. Pleasure to meet you, ma'am. I shook it with a smile that didn't reach my eyes. Actually, I'm Ben's mother, and I believe I'm the one who's been paying for most of this house. Something we'll be discussing at our family meeting tonight. The color drained from Cassandra's face as Gregory looked between us, confused. I should go, he said awkwardly. As the door closed behind him, Cassandra turned to me, eyes blazing. You had no right. Oh, honey, I'm just getting started. Ben arrived home just before 7, finding Cassandra and me in a silent standoff in the living room. What's going on? You two look ready for battle. Let's sit down, I said, placing my folder of documents on the coffee table. This is ridiculous, Cassandra huffed. Your mother invaded my privacy, went through my desk, and embarrassed me in front of my boss. After I found these, I slid the mortgage notices toward Ben. Care to explain why we're 2 months behind when I've been transferring my share every month? Ben's eyes widened. That can't be right. We have automatic payments set up. Canceled 3 months ago, I countered, showing him the bank statements. And here's where my money went instead. I laid out Cassandra's credit card statements. Those are private. Cassandra lunged for them, but Ben grabbed them first. Spa weekends, designer clothes. Cassandra, what the hell? I deserve nice things. Do you know how hard I work? About that, I pulled out my phone. According to your office, you've been working from home 3 days a week for months, not 5 days at the office like you've been telling us. Ben looked stunned. Is that true? She's twisting everything. I have one more thing to show you both. I removed an official-looking document from my folder. I spoke with our family lawyer, Patricia. Turns out when we set up the financial arrangement for me to move in, the paperwork Ben signed wasn't just for banking. It added me as a co-owner on the deed. Cassandra's jaw dropped. That's not possible. Check for yourself. I own 40% of this house. Mom, I didn't realize. It's fine, Ben. I'm not here to take anything from you. In fact, I've already made arrangements to move out. Rachel has invited me to stay with her while I find my own place. Cassandra's expression shifted from shock to calculation. That's probably for the best. We can work out a payment plan for your contributions. No need. I'm giving you a gift. I've paid off the back mortgage payments, and I'll continue my contributions for 3 more months while you figure things out. That's incredibly generous, Ben said quietly. I stood up and took my house keys from my purse, dropping them on the table with a definitive clink. Good luck paying the mortgage without me. Wait, you can't just leave us hanging, Cassandra protested. I just gave you 3 months, which is exactly how long you planned to give me before kicking out the old lady. Sound familiar? Cassandra blanched. You don't understand. I was just frustrated that day. Save it. I've heard every version of you. The sweet daughter-in-law, the frustrated wife, the schemer on the phone with friends. I know exactly who you are now. Mom, Ben looked heartbroken. I had no idea. I'm so sorry. I know, honey, but this is a lesson you needed to learn. Cassandra suddenly started crying. Myra, please, I was wrong. I treated you terribly. Can we start over? No. I left the next morning for Rachel's house. Over the following months, Ben visited regularly, alone. He and Cassandra struggled with the mortgage, eventually selling the house at a loss 6 months later. They moved into a small apartment, and their marriage crumbled under the financial strain and broken trust. I bought a cozy condo near Rachel with my portion from the house sale. Ben stops by every Sunday for dinner, finally seeing his ex-wife clearly for who she was. Sometimes the best revenge is simply removing yourself from the equation and watching everything fall apart without you. What would you have done in Myra's position? Would you have continued supporting your son financially despite his wife's disrespect? Or do you believe Myra was right to walk away and let them face the consequences of their actions? Is there a point where family obligation ends and self-respect must take priority? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this revenge story of a mother-in-law who refused to be treated like the maid, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories of people standing up to toxic individuals in their lives. New stories every day.